LinkedIn. I know that we've been posting on LinkedIn, right? So beyond the LinkedIn, I want to hear like, okay, oh, what we've learned so far. Can somebody maybe in a minute or two, I need three people to give me like a summary of what they gained from the last class. So do you have any volunteer? Just need three persons. Am I audible? Okay, I
You're
Paul.
audible. You're audible, but I think we need to mute them from the settings before. Just hold on. Let me quickly give them that.
Don't worry, don't worry,
Oh,
don't worry. I can
Yeah.
unmute the individual.
you've
Okay.
done that already.
I'm allowing
Okay,
mic.
okay,
I'm allowing the mic for Paul. So if your name
okay.
is Paul and you have your hand up, please unmute your mic and speak. Paul, your
Hi
mic.
Paul.
Paul.
Can
You have the
Yes,
mic,
yes,
Paul.
yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Like you said, my name is Paul Ugbore Forede, and just to quickly give recap of what I've learned so far from the last week class on Exchange Online. If I want to quickly start, I will start with the introduction where the definition was given to us. So the understanding basically is exchange is that is Exchange Online, right? Is a platform for emailing and calendaring services in Microsoft 365. So it enables free flow of emailing between individuals, probably users and employees in an organization, and as well to the external users from other organizations. Then we may want to talk about groups in Exchange Online. We have different kinds of group. We have the Microsoft 365 groups, which is designed for collaboration, right? And we have dynamic groups. Okay, that is for what is it called? That is for Entra ID, right? Okay, we have the security group, and we have the distribution groups where emails are being distributed. And then we have.
Hi Paul. Paul, thank you so much. I think you actually tried. Do we have another person? Maybe can continue from where Paul stopped. You have another person?
no one is raising hand for now. Okay, I can see Chibuna Joe. I'm going to enable microphone for you.
And Temitope.
Okay, so I've enabled mic for Chibuna. You can unmute your mic. Temitope, I'm also enabling mic for you. Allow mic. So Chibuna and Temitope, one of you can go ahead, please.
All right, good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead, shoot.
Okay. To continue from what Paul said, we have groups on Exchange Online. We have the departmental group where departments can also share information relating to their departments, and also there is a resource group where resources used in the company, like equipment, like rooms and halls. Those things are, they have a group for that. So any anyone who want to make use of that particular resource will probably write to the person in charge. Then it will be allocated to the person or to that particular department to make use of it. Then another one is we also create add a user and also create what they call what's it called customize a domain, which can be maybe somebody will buy a domain from the vendor, then they can customize it. Instead of having Microsoft, you can now the domain will now be your own name instead of the Microsoft name or the vendor's name. That's all I can remember for now. But there are a lot of other things that we talked about.
Okay. Thank you so much. Item Tokwe, please can you also try? Item Tokwe. Is that Tokwe speaking or who is speaking? Can you hear me? Item Tokwe.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah,
I don't know
please, you have the mic.
if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, so all right. So Miss Titilope actually took us through, and she made it very easy to understand actually, because we could relate Microsoft Exchange Online. First of all, it's like it's a cloud version of the local or traditional post office that we have, or we used to have, and it also deals with mailboxes, right? So mailboxes in the sense that this is where people actually send and receive messages from people. And there's also, when it comes to that, there's also permissions in the sense that these mailboxes actually have permissions, full access. There's the senders, there's the send on behalf of. The full access is the usual one where people get to, send has themselves. The send on behalf of is where you get to send a message or email on behalf of somebody, and it actually shows that you are sending it on behalf of that person. It's very obvious. Also, the senders is you are sending as somebody. That one is like anonymous. They don't get to see the person that you're sending as, or you're sending it as that person. Also, she talked about the starting point of all these mailboxes, which was where she took us to actually creating a user and assigning a mailbox to that person. And also she talked about assigning mailboxes to groups, right? She talked about different kind of groups, and she used examples of the I don't know if you can hear me, the distributed groups whereby messages or emails actually goes to the users into their personal or their user boxes and stuff like that. And the previous class, which was the continuation, she took us through the facts that instead of using the automatic Microsoft 365 email addresses for users, we could use our brand name and make it known that so that when clients actually message us, or we're trying to get across to clients, they actually see that, this is from ABC, this is somebody from ABC organization, that kind of thing. She also explained the custom domain or the vanity domain, and yeah, she talked about how to actually validate this domain also. And yeah, I think that's what I can summarize.
Yeah, thank you all for that wonderful contribution. It's actually showed that we're actually listening, and yeah. So before we start this session today, so into today's topic is more of continuation of what we did last week, but we are going to do it using another method, PowerShell. Then we have few example of exactly what we did using the Exchange Admin Center. We are also going to do that same thing using the PowerShell. Then we go further to the Mayflow rule. The last time she spoke about inbox rule. So today we are going to work on Mayflow rule, also known as transport rule. Then if if time permits us, we are going to go to advanced exchange protection, where we talk about the anti-spam policy, anti-phishing policy, basically. But before I proceed today, as someone last time in our last class asked about how to recall a mail in exchange online, if it's possible to recall a mail, and how we can recall a mail in exchange environment. Yeah, it's actually very possible to recall a mail. So when you go to, this is just like, this is actually not the main class. So when you go to your mailbox, let's say this is your mailbox, you try to, from exchange online, you try to send a mail. Let's say I want to send to Rafiah. Can you see my screen? You go to your mailbox after composing your mail. Let's say we send. You go to your inbox. Go to your inbox, click on the email. Oh, sorry. Yeah, please give me a minute. I'm coming.
It's in advanced action. No, you're there already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, I don't know why that is not coming up. So on the same page, yeah, advanced. Then you click on recall. This will recall the email. Just like they said, there is a clause to this. If the recipient open the email after getting it, you are going to get a report, and it's going to be like, oh, this email cannot be recalled. But after sending this, you are going to get a report on the recall status of your email, whether it's successful or not. So this, now we don't have any reports yet. It's still showing pending, but later on you're supposed to have like a report whether this is successful or not for email recall. So I just thought to let discuss about this before we go on. So another thing from the last class that we spoke about is we discussed about creating mailbox and the likes. So today we are going to PowerShell. What is PowerShell? PowerShell. PowerShell is a command line interface, a CLI tool for managing Microsoft services. Just like if you are familiar with Linux, maybe if you have used different OS, if you are actually familiar with Linux, or maybe all these Unis OS, you know that you do more of CLI, command line interface. So same thing with with Windows. So you can also use CLI to manage your services, to manage your services, and also PowerShell basically is a CLI for managing Microsoft services, and it is used to perform tasks quickly, and it can be used to do bulk action, unlike GUI. So let's say GUI, if you are to create a user using the GUI interface, if you're adding a user one by one, it can take a lot of time. to add a lot of users. But using PowerShell, within a minute, less than a minute, you can use a PowerShell script to provision thousands of users in less than a minute. So that is why we want to show you how to use the PowerShell, and also how to and to introduce you to what is and to introduce you to PowerShell. So what is how can we have access to PowerShell? By default, if you are using a Windows device, you have PowerShell on your Windows device. So if you are presently on your device, can you press Windows key R, or you can just press Windows key and search for PowerShell. You are going to see PowerShell on your screen. Although we have some scenario, maybe if you are working in organization whereby you are using organization device, you might not be able to use PowerShell because most organization they tends to disable usage of PowerShell for their users. So if you try to use PowerShell, maybe at the end of this class, you try to do a demo, you are not able to use it. This may likely due to, if you are using an organization device, this may likely due to your organization policy. So pressing Windows key and R and typing that's your open run and type PowerShell. This is going to launch PowerShell for you. So, but we have different type of PowerShell. Can I call it type? Different types of interface for PowerShell. We have the normal PowerShell and we have the PowerShell ISE. So the PowerShell ISE give you like an integrated environment session whereby you'll be able to, you can, it's give you feeling of whereby you can easily paste everything the script you are trying to run. You can run it. You can run it at a go. Oh, sorry. So it gives you like an interface whereby you can type everything you want to run. You can run at once. If it's a script, you can run at once. And if it's, you can also run line by line using these parts of the PowerShell interface. Why the PowerShell, the normal PowerShell, the non-integrated environment is just a CLI, it's just a command line. It gives you only the command line in which you are going to run maybe each command one after the other in the CLI, basically. So, like I said earlier, PowerShell is very fast. It helps you to manage your command very fast, and also when it comes to performing bulk action, it's very good. You make use of PowerShell, and if you're trying to run like an automation, run maybe you have an day-to-day activities you want to run, maybe using Power that you need to run, like is a repetitive task, you can use PowerShell. So maybe you want PowerShell to get a data, you want to get a data, let's say at a particular time every day, you can run a PowerShell script to keep generating the data at a particular time. And another benefit of PowerShell is there are some functions. Let's say a lot of functions are not in the GUI. That is the graphical user interface, the Exchange Admin Center. You have a lot of functions that are not available on the GUI, in the GUI, that you have to make use of the PowerShell to perform. So if you want to be a very good Microsoft 365 a Microsoft 365 specialist, you want to be very good, it is very important for you to actually try to learn PowerShell. And although some people may feel it's very difficult, but trust me, it's just about starting. You learn from you start from somewhere, day-to-day learning, you get better at it. Because if you are trying to manage a robust system, trust me, you will need PowerShell. Yeah, CLI can be very boring, no doubt, but you just have to learn how to make use of it, because it makes you to be more efficient. It improve your speed. So I'm going to start a demo now. For this session, I'm going to show us how to install the Exchange Online module, and also how to install the MSO service. So the exact same thing we did using the GUI the last time, we are going to see the same thing using the PowerShell in less than a minute. So just give me a minute while I bring up my lab. Yeah, please give me a minute. So this is my lab. So the last time, what we did basically is to create users here. We created user using the GUI, interface, and we assign the license. So using this GUI. So these are the list of users I have in my tenant so far. So since Paul was the first person that we discussed that spoke today, I'm going to create an account for Paul. I'm going to create an account for Paul. Yeah. So presently, I'm actually connected to. Okay, let me close that. Ideally, I should run the install Exchange Online mode. It should have been the this command here should have been the command I need to run. But presently, I've already installed the Exchange Online module, so I don't need to run it again. So I would just connect, but I'm going to share the command in the chat. Maybe if you are trying the same. Oh, the chat is off. But I'm going to drop this commandlet after the end of the section. So if you want to try it later, but I will just go on with the demo and connect straight to Exchange Online. So for us to connect to Exchange Online, after installing the module, the command to Exchange Online, then it's going to ask us for authentication. So basically, what this does is you need to sign in to your organization ID to show. You need to sign into your organization ID, basically. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm trying to sign in. Okay. So I'm able to sign in successfully. Then I want us to create the mailbox just like the last time. So earlier I was talking about the CLI and ISE. So this is the ISE part. We have the ISE part here, and we have the CLI here. So, okay, let me create the first user here. I'll create the second user here. So for both instance, you can see that this mailbox actually created, and you are going to get like a warning side that we need to assign a license. As we all know, for you to be able to have a mailbox, you need an Exchange Online plan license. So then when we go back to the cloud, where we have our list of users, I'm going to search for John Doe, the one I created earlier, using the poll. Can you see? And this is, and we also have Temitope poll. So with PowerShell, you know, I was able to create these two user in less than a minute, excluding maybe the opening the PowerShell. In less than a minute, I'm able to create any user. I don't need to worry about maybe the internet connection, trying to load my GUI. So that is how to create a user using the PowerShell script. Creating a mailbox, creating a mailbox using PowerShell script. So I just need to assign a license to this user, which means I'll just add my license. Just give me a minute. So we have assigned a license to this user. And also, the last time we also spoke about mailbox permission, whereby we went to the Exchange Admin Center, whereby we assigned whereby we assign the sender's permission and the full access permission also. So we can also do the same. We can also do the same using this using the PowerShell. So what I want us to do now is I want us to give Temitope Paul access to this mailbox, the full access permission. So I'm going to run this. So earlier I spoke about running a script in PowerShell. If you want to run a script, maybe you have a lot of command that you want to do a particular thing. Okay, let me take us back a little. A command line. We have a command line in PowerShell. We have what we call command line, and we have what we call scripts. A command line is like a command that you give PowerShell. Okay, I want you to do this thing for me. And we have different types of command. Basically, we have the get command. We have the get command. So in get command, in HTML, we have a lot of things you can do with get. As you can see, with pressing tab on my keyboard, I can see a lot of get command I can run. I can get a mailbox folder statistics. I can get inbox request. I can run get anything. Same also, we have new command. So the new command is basically if you want to create, let's say, you want to create a new value. Let's say you want to create, you can use it to create a mailbox. You can use it to create a new policy. You can use it to create a new rule, depending on what you do. But basically, new is creating something that was not in existence before. That is what we use the new command for. And also, we have the add command. The add command is you have this particular value before, but you want to add maybe a particular value to the existing value that you have. Then you use the add command. So, and also we have the set command. The set command is used to change an existing value of a user. Okay, so just a minute. So presently we have this previous mailbox that we created that should be 4. We have it to be showing John Doe. We can use the set mailbox command to change the display name to another thing. So if we go back to the GUI, Paul should now be, the display name for Paul should now be Paul Shea instead of John Doe we had earlier. Can you see? So we have Paul Shea now. So set mailbox basically is used to change an existing parameter that we had earlier. And also we are dealing with when we are dealing with words in PowerShell, it is essential we quote them. Just like now, this is, you want the name to display as Paul. You need to quote it. S is going to fail. Okay, let's do this without quoting. Let's see what is going to happen. Can you see? We are going to get error. So when you're trying to maybe put a name, you need to quote them when you want to deal with names. You need to quote it. But in email, for best practice, I will encourage we always quote all our values for best practice. we always quote all our values. But for email, you don't necessarily need to quote email. Okay, so going back to adding mailbox permission to the previous account. So this account now is named for Sheyi. Then I want us to give the full access permission to Temitokbe. So there are two ways where we can check the mailbox permission using two methods, right? You can check from the Microsoft 365 Admin Center and also checking through the Exchange Online. But since you're on M365 Admin Center already, so I use that. I check using the M365 Admin. So you just need to go through to active users from the licensing page, from the account page. You can just toggle to mail. Then we have the mailbox permission. So checking the mailbox permission, can we see we have Temitope Paul having the read manage permission, which is the full access permission. And also likewise, we can also validate this. We can validate the same. We can validate the same in, okay, yeah, but if you want to check on the Exchange Admin Center, we come to, you select the mailbox, click on delegation. So under delegation, you just come down, then you have the read and manage, which is also the full access permission. Then we are going to see Temitokbe. So basically, the PowerShell is also it just give you us the same thing that we got using the GUI, but it is more faster than the way than the GUI. And another thing that I would have loved to show us, but just to avoid, just not to complicate issues at this present time. In mailbox, if you want, maybe you have a mailbox and you want to have users to have access to a particular thing in your mailbox, this is possible. But the feature is not in the GUI. Let's say you have you have calendar and you only want users to be able to have access to your calendar. There is no way to set that permission to limit it alone to calendar using the GUI, but we can do that using PowerShell. So we can do that using the PowerShell, but that may be for that's going to be for another class. Okay, so then I'll go on with today's class. So far, we've been able to create a mailbox using the PowerShell, and also we are able to add folder permission using the PowerShell. So like I said earlier, it is very easy. PowerShell is easier when it comes to us deploying deploying a lot of users. Let's say you want to create a lot of users. It saves you more time just to create a PowerShell script, run the script to create, maybe using CSV file. You can use a CSV file, create a CSV file for the user details, and use the PowerShell to create all those users and or create the mailboxes. So the next thing I want us to, the next lab activity I want us to try is to set up auto reply in the set up auto reply for mailbox. So basically, what is auto reply? Auto reply is auto generated email. So this can be set from maybe a user in your organization or user outside your organization, and this can be set for a particular time. Let's say in most common scenario that we have is situation whereby people are going on leave. I don't know, maybe I believe majority of us will likely have experienced this before. Maybe send email to someone and you maybe almost immediately you get a message that, oh, I'm sorry, out of office at this particular time. I have limited access to email. Please contact someone. Or maybe some just be like, oh, I'm out of office and I cannot reply to your email. So auto reply basically is an auto-generated email for that you can set as a user, and also from the admin angle, this can also be set to reply to incoming email to a user mailbox. It can be for maybe a particular reason, not necessarily out of office. Let's say maybe a user is no longer available in an organization. The admin can set up an auto-generated email. Oh, this mailbox is no longer active. Contact this person. So I'm going to do another demo on this to set up an auto-generated email. Please just give me a minute. Yeah, sorry, my device is running slow. Just give me a minute. For some reason, when I bring this over to this screen where I'm sharing, it keeps freezing. So this is an auto-generated email now for the account we created earlier, Temitope, or an auto-reply email for the account we created earlier. So I'm going to send an email. So we are going to see what we are going to see that we are going to get this message. I am out of office. So can you see? As you can see now, even before I try to send an email to Temitope, there is a notification that, oh, Temitope automatically reply, I'm out of office. So there's an automatic reply being sent. So we can do this as an admin, and also as end user, we can also do the same. So this is a response. So from the end user angle, to set this up, you can go to settings. Go to from settings under mail, you are going to see automatic replies. So from here, you can turn this automatic reply. So you can send a reply. You can send a reply during this hour. You can set up, maybe you are going for leave, let's say from 21st to 25th. So you just want your out of office to be like, you want your out of office, just select the message you want it to be. And also, you can also set that during this period, your calendar should be blocked. And also automatic decline, maybe any meeting invites should be declined. You can check this from the end user angle. And also you can do the same using the PowerShell, but that is going on a larger scale. But we'll later come back to this maybe during the we later come back to this in a more advanced class. Okay. So troubleshooting PowerShell issues may experience a lot of issues when we try to connect to PowerShell. And trust me, it can be very, very it can be very troublesome when you try to troubleshoot connecting to PowerShell modules at times. So, but these are the few things you need to check out when you want to troubleshoot. When you try to connect to it, and ensure that you have the correct credential, and also ensure that you have the correct command and ensure that the syntax are actually correct. The syntax are correct. So earlier, when I was trying to run this PowerShell command, I got 2 errors. The first error, I think this one was intentional, right? Because I was trying to show you why quoting maybe words is very important. So I got this error, but this wasn't intentional. So I made a mistake when I was trying to run the script. So when I was trying to run this script, when I was trying to copy it, I didn't know that I copied a colon. So I had a colon here. So this colon is not part of this commandlet. It's not part of the PowerShell didn't recognize the colon to be part of his command. So that was the reason why I got this error. And good thing about PowerShell is, to some extent, it's going to tell you exactly why you are getting this error. So for this particular command, for this particular error, so it shows that the term colon is not recognized. So immediately, I tried to check the command again. I noticed that there was a mistake in the command, and I had to correct it. So when we're trying to work on PowerShell, ensure that we have the right syntax, and also ensure that you have the right permission, right? So when we talk about the right permission, we are actually discussing Exchange Online today, but I want us to know we can use PowerShell in all Microsoft services, all Microsoft 365 services, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft. You can use it for SharePoint. You can use PowerShell to manage OneDrive, and also you can use it maybe when you want to deploy Word, and you can use it to configure licensing. And so when you want to maybe work on PowerShell, any PowerShell module, ensure that you have the right permission to run that PowerShell command. So far now, we can all run the Exchange on. You can all connect to Exchange Online using the Connect Exchange Online module, because we have the Exchange admin rights. But this is a module to connect to Microsoft Teams. If you try to connect to Microsoft Teams now without having the Teams admin rights, you are definitely, even if you put in the right credential, you will not be able to perform any action. You will not be able to perform any action using the Microsoft Teams PowerShell. So we need to ensure we have the right command to run a particular module. So I think so far I think we've talked more of Exchange Online, PowerShell. I know we have a lot of questions. So, but I want us to note the questions down. If you then at the end of this session, I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer the questions. So, and also we have a quiz. A question I want to ask. I don't know if we can probably maybe unmute the mic or maybe enable the chat quickly. So I want to ask a question. If the question I want us to answer so far based on what I've discussed so far. So the first question is, what is the purpose of PowerShell in Exchange? So we have two options. So the first option is A, is it to send email? B, is it to manage mailboxes and users? Oh, sorry, seems a lot of people actually not following. Okay. Yeah, hi Rafiah. Please, I
No,
want us to
sorry.
leave. I want
Oh,
I want us to leave the
okay.
chat open. I want us to leave the chat open throughout the duration of this class. Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So I understand a lot of people said they don't really understand PowerShell. Okay, let me go all over again. To some extent, okay, we understand the basis of creating a user. Okay. Okay, can you give the mic to Bukola, Chibuna, Joy, and Kufre? Hi, Bukola. You can unmute yourself. You have the mic.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening. Okay, this is Kufre. I think I've muted first. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So far I've been following. I'm just trying to catch from the knowledge of doors from Windows and thinking that it's something close to that. Where I know very well that if I look at it, I will be able to follow. From your quiz, I think the answer to the question is to manage mailboxes and users.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, okay. So, connecting
Hello.
to
Okay.
PowerShell. Hi. Okay.
Yes.
Hello?
Can I speak now? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So based on the quiz, basically for the first one, like Kufre said, it's to manage mailboxes and users. Second one, of course, is B connect exchange online. And for the last one will be PowerShell can be used to create. Yes, that's true. That's actually the main purpose of PowerShell. Be able to possibly create multiple when it has to do with bulk
Okay.
users
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
managing them.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kuf. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. So,
Please, I have a question.
okay. Yes.
Yes, please. When you were showing us the PowerShell, you didn't show us how to connect Exchange online. I don't understand that part.
Connect. Okay. Okay. So, the first part is actually to install the module. So are you on your device presently, or you're
No, no, no.
just trying
No,
to follow?
I've been watching. No, I'm not on my system. I'm using my phone to follow.
I'm on my device.
Well, I am on
Okay.
my device. If we can get the install command, because we didn't do that. We only started from the connect command, right?
Who is that?
This is
Is that
Paul and
Paul
Vene.
or Busayo?
Yes, Paul. No, Paul and
Paul.
Vene. Yes.
Okay. So Paul,
I'm on my
if you don't
device too.
mind, hope you don't have maybe personal information on device. We can share a screen, so maybe we can just go through you, since your device, I believe you don't have all this module already, right? Hi Paul, can you hear me? Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Yes, you are audible. So I think without Paul having to share his screen, right? Timmy, if you can hear me, maybe what you
Yes,
should do is, Timmy, can you hear me?
on install.
Hello?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So I think basically for you to be able to use the Windows PowerShell, right? For the first time, what you need to do is use the search button. Either you're clicking on the Windows Start icon, you scroll down the apps, you go straight down to Windows PowerShell. As a first timer, you have that drop down arrow. Just click on Windows PowerShell, right click and run as an admin. So without admin right, you can't run that Windows as in PowerShell. You will not be able to run the commands. So like I said, how do you start? Start with searching for Windows PowerShell. It's just on the left navigation pane. You click on right click and start with run as admin. That's where you get started with. Now after that, you have to install the modules. So Timmy will be sharing. Timmy, you can just drop the install module cmdlets in the chat. Chat is turned off. Let me have that turned on. I think when they have those cmdlets, then they can keep them handy and run them.
Okay, we don't have the chat. The chat is turned off. I'm not able to.
Give me a minute. Let me turn that on.
Okay. So this is to install. So yeah, so this is Windows PowerShell, and this is the one we used earlier is the ISE, which I said is the integrated environment. So in this this is completely command line interface. You only have to use the command. There is no ISE for you to maybe try to edit, like just like we did earlier with the PowerShell ISE. And also, if you're trying to install, are we able to install for those that try to install the module? Okay, what error are you getting, Olatunji? Okay, so can you press Y? That is yes, that you want to install the command line. Please kindly share the error messages. So from this error message, it seems Sunday, it seems your internet is not that great to download the module from the error message. Okay. Sunday, can you try this? I'm sharing a new command set. Run the okay, Peace. Can you open PowerShell, search for PowerShell, and run as an admin? Hi, Olatunji. Open PowerShell, run as an administrator. Okay, just a minute. So you come here, search for PowerShell. So searching for it, you click on PowerShell, run as an administrator. So use confirm yes. So you should be able to see administrator Windows PowerShell. You should be able to have something like this. Okay, great. We have people connecting.
Okay. Hello.
So I see that we have a lot of people now that are able to connect. Okay. So I'm
So
bringing
the
back my
chat,
PowerShell.
were you talking before now? I just wanted to confirm
No,
because
no,
I
no. I
wasn't
was
hearing you
trying to.
anymore.
No, I was
Okay.
trying to look at the errors they are getting to see. I can. Okay, can you for this set execution
Okay.
policy
So
press A or yes, anyone is okay.
mhm.
Great, great. We have a lot of people that are able to connect now. So now for those people that are able to connect now, so firstly, I want us to create like a kind of let's create okay, let's get mailbox. Let's use the get mailbox command. Oh, sorry. Can you see my screen? So I want us to run this command. Okay. So let's run this particular command now. Can we try to run this? I Ariotech, because we get back to that later. Okay, great, great. So running this, so the next thing is I want us to edit this with the UPN with the username using the your domain. I want us to edit this out and create a user. This particular command, I want us to create a new mailbox. I want us to create a new mailbox. John Doe. So let's just call it John Doe. John Doe at your domain. So you need to remove the last one, the last the domain part, and replace it with your domain. You need to add your domain to the command line. So can we run this? Are we able to create the new mailbox? So for those who have tried it, can you share the screenshots? Do you have them? Oh, okay. So this is what I was trying to say earlier about the error message. So going through the error message, this particular person, you are using my own identity. You are using my domain. This is not your domain. You are connected to another organization. So there is no way for you to be able to use. So there is no way for you to be able to use this particular domain because this domain does not exist in your tenant. So that is why you're getting this error. So what you are going to do is you need to use your domain. You need to replace this with something in your domain, not my own domain. Okay. So, Olatunji, what I was trying to say is, from our knowledge of domain, a domain is for a domain is unique for a tenant. That means an Office 365 organization. A domain is unique for a particular Office 365 organization. My domain, the domain of my organization, whether it's a custom domain or my default domain, it cannot be used at the same time in another Office 365 tenant. So what you're trying to do now is the domain, you try to replicate the exact same thing I did. You try to replicate the exact same thing I did. That is actually not possible. What I said is you should, I gave a command and I asked you to edit the command. I'm sending the command again and add your domain. But another error that I noticed is about people getting that the name has already been created. So it's because you are in the same tenant and you're trying to create the same mailbox that you have in your tenant. That is actually not possible. An identity is unique to a user. An identity is unique to a particular user. Is not two users cannot use the same identity. So that is the reason why you are getting the error message. So for Adetola, so you may okay, you can try to create maybe change your John Doe to maybe John Doe 3. The email for the Microsoft Online Service ID, change it to John Doe 3, or maybe you can change it from the name also, add John Doe 3 also. Okay, yes. I think Paul is actually trying. The Paul is. So, Idris, are you able to connect to Exchange Online successfully? I can you hear me now. Is it better? Hi, Kuf, can you hear me? Okay, please give me a minute. Let me check my mic. Okay, great.
Can you hear me now? Are you able to hear me? Okay, great. Thank you for that. So that is we are able to create the John Doe account now. So the next thing I want us to do is to do the next thing we did, that is assigning mailbox permission. So you can just pick a particular mailbox, right? So in the mailbox that you created, the new mailbox you created, then I want you to run this command first to show that there is no permission on the mailbox.
Yeah, please share the PowerShell command in the chat.
Although you are going to have a permission on it. Okay, let me try for John Doe 2. Let me try for John Doe 2 I created earlier. So let's get the mailbox permission. So what this means is this is getting John Doe 2. It means John Doe 2 account is itself that, and it has full access and read permission. So this user has full access permission, which is actually by default for a user mailbox. A user has full permission to their mailbox. So now what we're going to do is to assign another permission to the user mailbox. So running the add mailbox permission, this user part should be your email address. This user part should be your own email address. Hi, Mary, you are able to connect successfully just for you to run all the commands. So are you able to give yourself permission to, give yourself permission to the mailbox? So you can also check the chat for the command lines. I think that was shared earlier. Okay, great. So all these things also maybe after the you can try to check from the from the graphical user interface after the session to actually confirm all these settings to be able to see that okay, this is actually possible. And I think this actually reflects from the graphic from the GUI. And also lastly, you can also set an auto reply, probably maybe for another mailbox in the tenant or your own mailbox, and try to do a test. So I think that will be all for that. Because of our time, I think that will be all for today's session. So I'm going to I think we have a few questions here. So I think Peace wants to know the major reason for PowerShell. So PowerShell is actually very important when we number one, why PowerShell is very important. It is actually very useful when you are trying to manage a lot of users, when you need to perform bulk actions. PowerShell is very, very important at that particular instance. Also, in a situation whereby you want to perform a particular function, but that function is not available. That function is not available on the graphical user interface. You have to use the PowerShell. I understand that a lot of people, they maybe some people they actually not don't really get the concept of maybe PowerShell, but over time, when we try to maybe perform tasks, when we try to play around real life scenario, we'll be able to get the reason for PowerShell. But for now, I would just we are just maybe trying to go through the basics, like trying to make it as simple as possible. So just say, oh, the basic thing we've done so far on the Exchange Admin Center, doing the same thing on PowerShell. So that is what we're trying to do in today's lecture. But PowerShell is very fast. If both of us we are to create 10 users, if you are to create a user using GUI, I'm to create user using PowerShell, I'll be faster than the person using GUI. Even if you are to use CSV file and try to upload it, if both of us have CSV file we are trying to upload, I'll be faster. Because PowerShell is just like, after running the command, it creates every of the activity, every of the mailboxes, maybe the user I want to create, it creates them immediately. So that is why PowerShell is very important. Number one, is very fast. Number two, is good when we are dealing with bulk scripting. Number three, when we are trying to use some value or set a kind of or feature that is not available on the GUI, this can only be done via PowerShell. So an example I gave earlier was setting calendar permission. Let's say you want to delegate your calendar. You don't want to give full access to a user. With this full access permission that we played with, any user with full access permission, they have the access to all your inbox. Let's say all the emails coming in, they are able to see all your emails, all your sent emails. So let's say in a particular instance that this particular user, they don't need to have full access to your mailbox. They don't need to see your email. You just have maybe there is a secretary that just needs to manage the boss's calendar, maybe fix their meeting, schedule their meeting, confirm their meetings. They don't have any business with the content of their mailbox. They just need to have access to their calendar. You can only assign their calendar permission alone, but that feature is not in the GUI. You can only use PowerShell. There are a lot of scenarios whereby the features are not available using the GUI, like a lot. You just have to use the PowerShell. That is why I said when we started that it is very important for you as an admin to be able to use PowerShell. Hi, Rafiah.
Hi,
Hi,
Timmy. Thank
Rafiah.
you so much. Yeah, can you hear me, Timmy? Hello? Can you hear me?
Hi, Rafiah. You have the mic.
Can't hear me. Yeah. Hello? Yeah, can you hear me?
I'm not able to hear you.
Okay,
You're
thank you.
speaking.
So now, can you hear me, Timmy? Yeah, so I just wanted to ask some questions that we do have. I think so far so good. You've been able to share the importance of using the
Okay.
Windows PowerShell.
So
So there are two
that
ways
is
you
with
can
the
manage your
PowerShell. So
M365
the other
tenant.
question is difference between identity and a user. So okay, let me put this. An identity, like I said earlier, is actually unique. And an identity can be anything you use to identify an object. So in this context, in Microsoft 365, an identity can be a mailbox, an identity can be a user, it can be a group. Also, it can also be device. It can also be device. So that is an identity. Why a user is refers to a person or an account on Microsoft 365. A user does not necessarily need to have a mailbox. A user can just have access to maybe a power application. They don't necessarily need to have a mailbox. But identity is any identifiable object. It can be a mailbox, a user, a device, a group. So that is an identity. Using PowerShell and command prompts, they're actually different. Command prompts, command points, the command prompts has different use a different, can I call it language? But you can also use command prompt to run PowerShell commands. Another question is, can PowerShell be used to manage files on your PC? Yes, you can use PowerShell to manage files on your PC. So we only limit this PowerShell class to Exchange Online. But yes, you can use it to manage files on your PC. So
Timmy, we can no longer hear
so
you.
PowerShell ISC basically it means integrated scripting environment. Why CLI means command line interface. So this is can you see my screen? From here, this is ISC parts where you can, just like a text editor where you can write a lot of things. However, this is the CLI parts. But for Windows PowerShell, just so the other one, there is no ISC, there is no integrated scripting environment. So this is PowerShell. This is purely CLI. CLI means command line interface. Command line interface. So the ISC, PowerShell ISC has the ISE and the CLI. So based on maybe how the one you are comfortable with is what you're going to use. Okay, do you still have any other question that I missed? PowerShell commands are not key sensitive. PowerShell commands are not key sensitive. So, okay, you edited the question. How can PowerShell be used to manage files on your PC? That is actually beyond the scope of this class to manage folders. But okay, but I can just show you a few commands to see the. Okay, can you see? I change directly to see all this directly in my to see the directory in my device. So basically, this is managing device. This is not part of the Exchange Online module. So you can use the PowerShell to manage your files, manage files on your PC, but this is actually out of scope for this particular class. I've actually not tried to install PowerShell directly, but yes, you can. So there was a time I had RDP, I had a remote desktop on my device, on my mobile phone, actually a tab. So that remote desktop is just like connecting to my desktop. So I just open PowerShell from there. So yeah, but I don't know whether there is a PowerShell for phone. I don't think that is possible. Can I use single command line to create new mailboxes for multiple users? Yeah. Not really, but that particular part, we are getting to scripting if you want to create using command line, okay, you need to import the mailbox, get the CSV file from this particular. No, let me just say no. No, it's not possible to use a single command to create multiple mailboxes at once. It's not possible. So, Ariotech, please, what's your question? Ariotech.
In the chat, he was asking if PowerShell command is the same thing as the VLC they use for CSS. I think that was
Yes,
his
they are
first question.
document. Yeah, they are. We have documents for command lines. Yes, I'll share that soon. Okay. If you want to open PowerShell on your PC, go to the way all of us, the way we access search for folder is different. But if you want to search directly, can you press the Windows key on your keyboard? That should bring us the search app. If you press the Windows key, from there, type PowerShell. It's going to give you the option for PowerShell IC, the normal PowerShell, and PowerShell x86. You have it there. Then you can right click on it and open as an administrator. Okay, for those that are not able to sign in, maybe after the session, you can just chat me up, then I will try to take a look. But there is one particular person I saw the PowerShell error. It seems WinRAM is not enabled, so that's require a lot of troubleshooting on that particular device. But if you are using like an organization device, I would suggest that it's best you don't try to run PowerShell. If you are using an organization device, just try and look for an alternate maybe way to run the PowerShell, because most organizations they've actually they try to disable scripting PowerShell scripting on most devices. So VS Code is actually different from PowerShell. VS Code is also an ISE and is an IDE, integrated development environment. So basically, you use VS Code basically for coding, as the name is used for coding, to write codes, and basically, so it's totally different. It's totally different. Yes, use Elizabeth, you type yes. Hi, Kevin. I'm going to share that. Oh, and also, hi, Olatunji. Yes, you are correct. You can access PowerShell on VS Code, but it's different. You can access PowerShell. Okay, I think I get Olatunji's question now. I think I get his question. You can access PowerShell. You can access PowerShell on VS. Or you can access PowerShell on VS Code. Yes, you are right, Olatunji. I think that comes to the end of today's session. So I understand a lot of people they are not able to follow basically because of the PowerShell parts. But one thing I would definitely try to let you know is most people that have been working, maybe they have a lot of, maybe you see them 5 years experience in Microsoft 365, 8 years experience, 10 years experience. Most people tends to actually run away from PowerShell. But the difference between what makes you outstanding is trying to know what other people are trying to run away from. Yeah, it can be actually not easy. Yeah, it feel like, oh, this is very hard to understand, especially if people come from the angle of, oh, I don't like coding, I don't like coding, I don't want to code. Oh, this seems like coding. I'm trying to run away from coding. I came to PowerShell, right? What makes you outstanding is you trying to face on the what you think is very, very, very difficult. That is you learning PowerShell, at least the basic, knowing, okay, this particular when we get to our advanced class, when we get to the advanced part, we are going to understand better when we have a lot of things to do, a lot of hands-on to do. When you see that then you see that, oh, what I'm asked to do, the feature is not available using the graphical user interface. That means we have to use the PowerShell. So that is when we are able to see why PowerShell is very, very, very important. So I strongly believe there is still going to be another class or maybe another session entirely for PowerShell. PowerShell is very large and big. I, for one, I don't know anything in PowerShell. Let me be honest. And the reason why I said I don't know anything with PowerShell is a lot of people, I see things people do with PowerShell, like I will like, jeez, like a lot of things, like do migration purely on PowerShell, not using the GUI at all, doing complex migration using um, PowerShell. So we just have to, what we learned so far, I would encourage us to try to practice and read up on it. I'm going to share the basic command for the get mailbox, for the get command. So I'm sharing the documentation on the charts on PowerShell mailbox. So this is for mailboxes alone. So we can just play around this for now. So thank you all for your time. So let's try to
Yeah, thank you so much, Timileyin, for that
I Busaya, what's
wonderful.
your question? Please, can you quote it or
Ah,
type again?
well, kota mo no na umre yo.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay, so I think Rafa is not aware that her mouse, I mean, mic is enabled. So I just want to make comment based on the question that was asked earlier about the differences between identity and user. So Timi has clearly explained that. I'm just thinking, just in case the person who asked the question is still on the call. So
So,
you
okay,
can
when you want
you can
to use PowerShell,
ah, oh, so can you see hear me, please?
we have different PowerShell modules. We have different PowerShell modules, like I said earlier. The first thing you need to do is to install the module. And class, for this class, we are only dealing with Exchange Online module. And what we did earlier is we installed the Exchange Online module. Then after installing the Exchange Online module, then we connected to the module. And to connect to the module, okay, this is a command. So to connect to the PowerShell module, connect to Exchange Online. So when you click on the connect to Exchange Online, it's going to give you, you are going to get a prompt to put in your email address. And after putting your email address, you are going to input your password. Okay, Samuel, regarding your question, I know this is not a part of what you did last week, but for an exchange on premises, from an AD angle, an account was created from AD. All the for you to manage the sender's permission, you have to do that from the AD, and you sync it to cloud. You need to go to your AD PowerShell and assign the sender's permission, because it's not a cloud mailbox. So all the what's going on?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please just drop a chat. Just drop a chat that you can hear me. I think we're both having network issues. Okay, beautiful. So if you can hear me clearly, right? I want you guys to understand something. We can't get it all here in this session, right? The most important thing is that you've been introduced to the Windows PowerShell. So that will be all for today. That will be all for today. If you have questions, please go and drop it on the WhatsApp group on the Telegram. We'll answer your questions there, right? Don't worry, we'll still have a continuation of this class. For those that had issues connecting, we're going to put you through. So please, this will be all for today. Thank you all, Timileyin. Thank you so much, Timileyin, for the class. Thank you all for staying through till this moment. See you tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m., same meeting link. Have a good night rest, everyone. Thank you. Bye for now.